To my core, I am a frugal girly and I love finding new ways to save money. Costs of everything are up and gift giving season is just around the corner. And if you're anything like me, I am willing to bet you could use a little cash infusion right now. So today I want to talk about 9 ways that you can save money before the end of the year. And if you like saving money and you like our content, why not go ahead and give us a thumbs up right now? As always, step 1 is to get financially organized. You can't change what you don't know. And being financially organized means having a budget and having some sort of dashboard or landing pad where you can see your entire financial life in one glance. I personally use Empower. This is not sponsored. It's just a tool that I like and have been using for a long time. You can use a spreadsheet, you can use a different app, you can use a notebook, but you need to understand how much money is coming in, how much money is going out, and specifically where it's going. I like Empower because the robots do the work for me, so I can see, oh, here's how much I spent at Target, here's how much I spent on gas, and the robots, the algorithm has already collected that data. I don't have to manually track it. But you need some sort of tool like this in order to change your financial life, because once you see where all your money is going, then you can say, oh, I went out to eat 32 times last month. I should probably cut that back to 22 times. That will help me save $300 a month. And that leads me very nicely to tip number 2, which is to think differently. Okay, I am one of those people that firmly believes there is a fine line between the word mindset and the word bullshit. I do think having the right mindset about anything in your life is really important. If you think you're gonna fail, you're probably gonna fail. If you think you can succeed, you probably can succeed. But I also feel like a lot of people take it a little too far, but that's for another video. In order to make change in our financial lives, we have to envision a different financial life, which means we have to go from thinking, I can't save any money, or I'll be in debt forever, to I can and will make changes to my spending in order to save. I can and will implement a debt payoff plan so I can be debt-free in the next 5 years. And so much of this comes down to simply asking questions. Do I really need that? Do I have a place to store that? Am I going to use that before it expires? We live in a world of constant advertising and a world that wants you to be in debt, right? We have very easy access to credit here in the United States. You're constantly getting bombarded by offers from stores to open a store credit card, or Visa is basically stalking all of us by constantly sending applications to the house. So it's very easy for our default mindset to be, I'll just put it on the card, or I can afford that monthly payment. But ask yourself, do I really need this thing? What tangible difference in my life will this item make? How will this get me closer to my goals? And then kind of subcategories of thinking around that is, where will I store that? How often will I use that? How often does that need to be cleaned? I know for me, when it comes to clothes, if something needs to be dry cleaned, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm simply never gonna dry clean that dress. I'm never gonna dry clean that suit. So like, why buy it? Why would I let it take up space in my house? Being honest with yourself and changing the way that you think about your spending habits is a fantastic way to save money. And similarly, when it comes to budgeting, a lot of people see it as depriving themselves. Oh, I have to budget. This is such a burden. It means I can't get what I want. Flipping that mindset to budgeting is bringing me closer to my big picture goals is going to be a complete game changer for you. I know for me personally, sometimes there are things I want in the moment, and then I can take a step back, zoom out, and say, how does this actually get me to what I really want? I have a dream of buying a house on a lake. Lake houses are expensive. My phone background is a lake. I check my phone approximately 9,000 times a day, so I'm constantly in contact with my big picture goals. That is a reminder of what I really want, and it helps me cut back on impulse purchasing. It also helps me cut back on, not impulse, but like bullshit shopping. You know what I'm talking about, where it's like, I don't really need this, but it's kind of cute. I bet I could make it work. I bet I could find a use for it. That kind of shopping, very easy to cut out of your life when you're very clear on your big picture goals. Number 3, don't drive so fast. Y'all, I know I cannot be the only one who feels like every single driver on the road is completely bananas. I'm a city girly. I've always lived in cities since I graduated college, and the driving is getting more and more bananas. I've lived in Texas, I've lived in North Carolina, now I live in Massachusetts. There's bad drivers everywhere. People are blowing through red lights. No one knows how to use a yield sign, and people are speeding all the time. Slowing down will use less fuel, which means you have to fill up less. Slowing down will also preserve the life of your car. Constantly flooring it and then slamming the brakes, and then flooring it and slamming the brakes. It's an insane way to drive. It's a dangerous way to drive, and it's bad for your wallet and your car. Most cars are designed to get their best mile per gallon around 50 to 55 miles per hour. Not at 70, not at 90. If you need to feel like a badass, do it somewhere besides the public roads. Number 4, try and share costs. If you've watched any of my content on the internet, you know that I talk a lot about community and specifically financial community. Here in the US, we live in a deeply individualistic culture that tells us you should be able to afford everything on your own, do everything on your own, and asking for help is a personal failure. Which is bananas. For the entirety of human history, we have used each other to achieve things. The thing that separates humans from animals is that we build societies, we build communities, we work together to achieve greatness. So to me, it just makes sense that we would apply that to our money as well. How can you reach your financial goals while helping other people in your community reach theirs? The answer to that question is going to be different for each of us. We're all in different situations, but just off the top of my head, some ideas can be living with a friend, living with a family member, buying a piece of property with a family member, splitting a CSA with a roommate, sharing a car with a neighbor. Think collective, not individual. Sharing costs means you have to go out of pocket less, which means you have more money to save. Number 5, cut your food waste with creativity. I work really hard to have very little food waste. Not only is this more sustainable and better for the planet, the US throws out 40% of all of the food it grows, which means we just have a ton of food rotting in dumps and creating a ton of greenhouse gases. But it also saves me individually money. If I see that I have bananas that are beginning to go bad, I will peel them and stick them in the freezer so that I can make banana bread when it's cold and I can feel cozy. Same with things like eggs. You can scramble eggs, freeze them, and then cook them 2 weeks later. If your bread is going stale, let it and then turn it into breadcrumbs. Money is an exercise in creativity, and keeping food out of the trash is also an exercise in creativity. Also, I made the investment to get food storage containers that will lengthen the life of my food and protect them from things like ants or rats. I've been able to find a bunch of glass containers at the thrift store, which I now store my dry goods in, which A, helps keep me more organized, and B, allows me to get the most out of my food because less of my food is rotting, is going to waste. Making that upfront investment in good food storage containers and good food systems is a fantastic way to save yourself money in the long run. Number 6, research your purchases. Don't assume that the big name stores are the cheapest. I feel like there's so many places where we can shop now that a lot of us are having decision fatigue, decision overwhelm, and we default into thinking, oh, well, Amazon's always the cheapest. Well, Walmart's always the cheapest. And that's not always true. Now, as you know, I'm a spreadsheet girly, and I have a food spreadsheet. I went to 3 different stores when I first moved to Massachusetts to compare prices on the same products. And every few months, I like to go back and compare those same prices. The 3 stores that I go to are Aldi, Market Basket, and Trader Joe's, and I like to keep an eye on what's cheapest where. I'm not always going to go to 3 stores every week. That's overkill. But if I know, oh, Aldi is trending cheaper in all of my major categories, I'll focus my shopping at Aldi. But then if maybe Market Basket is having a ton of good sales one week, I'll go shopping there. Doing a little bit of research can save you a lot of money. And diversifying where you shop can also save you a ton of money. Number 7, utilize bank bonuses. I love bank bonuses. In 2022, I made $2,000 in bank bonuses. A bank bonus is when a bank pays you a certain amount of money for opening an account with them and depositing a certain amount of money. A lot of banks will give you bank bonuses for also setting up direct deposits. The bonuses are one time only, but they can range anywhere from $100 to $500 depending on how much money you're able to deposit into the bank. You usually have to leave the money there for anywhere between 1 to 6 months, which is totally fine if it's a high yield savings account because you're making money off of that. And then at the end, you get the bonus. Opening a bank account takes 5 minutes max. And if you can make $250 in bonuses because of that, what a win. Try a week or month off challenge. Trying things like a week with no eating out, a week with no drinking, a week with no driving can be a great way to save in specific areas of your life without having to overhaul your entire life. No one's asking you to give up your car for the next 3 years, but can you give up your car for 1 week? Can you carpool to work? Can you take public transportation? Can you bike if the weather is nice? And then save all of the money that you would put towards gas. I think savings challenges are a really easy and fun way to kind of shake up your normal spending routine and to boost your savings. You can do them for a week, you can do them for a month, you can do them for 6 months, whatever works for you. Number 9, buy year-long subscriptions during Black Friday. Here in the US, September through December is just the season of sales. We start off strong with Labor Day sales in early September, and then it is Black Friday, it is Cyber Monday, it's holiday sales. So somewhere along the line, you're going to be able to find absolutely killer deal on streaming services or year-long subscriptions. You can get Hulu for $5 usually for $5. Past amazing deals have included Hulu for $5 a month during Black Friday sales. I was able to pay $30 for 1 year of website hosting on a Black Friday sale. So there's really amazing deals out there in all areas of your life. If we're all going to be bombarded by endless advertising and endless sales emails, may as well make them work to our advantage. Those are my savings ideas. Definitely let me know in the comments if you have any others. I'm always looking for ways to save money. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up and make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss a new video.